We should also mention, I think, the Black Lives Matter movement here. Cricket has once again had to confront issues to do with race. Daren, Sammy went public with some shocking revelations, as did Michael Carberry here in the UK. There's a strong possibility that the West Indies will make a gesture during the tests. I mean, what are you expecting we might see there, George?
I expect both teams will mark that movement respectfully. Exactly what they're going to do, I don't know, but I think it'll also be more than a gesture. I do think that the game in England anyway has been shocked in the last week or so, and I get the impression it feels like a watershed moment. It doesn't feel as if this is just talk this time. So I think the England team will very genuinely mark it. The West Indies team have already said they're going to. I think the teams will get together and do it, and I think it'll be genuine, but I think it has to be more than a gesture this time.
Yeah, it's an opportunity also for cricket to kind of show its diverseness, because it's always spoken about. And Jason Holder, he was talking on TV recently, on last 2 days or something, where he said that they definitely are talking to show their solidarity towards the protests that have flared up in the wake of George Floyd's death, and they are thinking of few different ways. How do they kind of do that? So guessing armbands might be one. And he was asked whether the team is planning to take a knee, and he did not commit to it, but who knows? I mean, there are many teams that have already done that. So yes, there is a strong feeling in the West Indies camp that they need to kind of show this. They need to kind of also, it's a mark of respect in a way. So, and good for them, good for cricketers also, that the ICC has come out and said that you're going to use common sense and not just penalize people and go by the code. So the players, the match officials are going to be lenient as long as they don't cross a certain line, I'm guessing.
Well, I'd like to see the match officials involved in it as well. I just think I'm pretty sure that before the first ball of the series is bowled, both teams will do something to mark it. But as I say again, it has to be more than a gesture this time. The game, particularly the game in England, has to change.
And George, you've been doing some research here and writing around the subject. Obviously, Michael Carberry spoke damningly about the state of the professional game in this country, and something like one or maybe two black cricketers involved at the highest level last season. Do you think the ECB have kind of realised the strength of feeling there and the need to do something?
I think the whole game has been shocked, and I think the whole game has been complicit. And by that, I absolutely include the media, me, us. I thought Michael Carberry's comments were shocking, yeah. And as a result, I tried to speak to quite a lot of people who had either played, coached, administrators in the game, and that piece hopefully will be published shortly. And it was, it was shocking. And it's crept up on us a little bit, which I feel stupid saying, if I'm honest. But that, when I started looking for state-educated, UK-born cricketers of Afro-Caribbean descent who were involved in the English game, and I found Keith Barker. And actually, there's, I think his name's Liam Hurt at Lancashire, who I'm afraid I hadn't heard of before, but he played one game last season. Well, that's pathetic. I mean, how have we allowed that to happen? And there are all sorts of reasons. And there are all sorts of different faces of racism. Racism isn't necessarily abusing people. It's not necessarily joining the Ku Klux Klan. Sometimes it is just about not being as accessible to people of other communities. And, the English game has not been accessible to people of Afro-Caribbean communities, and not just that community, I should say. I mean, one of the bits of research, how many people from sort of the Bangladeshi community are feeling able to play cricket in England? So that's another area. I think that we've got to be very careful not to put up posters of Moeen and Jofra and kid ourselves that everything's okay, because, you know, we have to listen to what Michael Carberry and other black players are saying, and we have to reboot and do better.
Indeed. Well, certainly the world will be watching in a few weeks at the start of the Test series, and also at how the ECB and all of us react as we go down the line.
Actually, can I just come back on that, Alan? Because one of the things that after I tweeted about I can't remember which stat it was, about the stat about the one state school educated player, or maybe it was the Michael Carberry piece. I was struck. My Twitter feed was full of black people being told by white people how easy it was to be black. And I'm not sure, while that is the case, that we're listening. Honestly, just think the next step is to listen, is to try and understand the experiences before deciding what to do. But I am genuinely convinced that the game wants to change. I've been quite impressed by the honesty, even the statement the ECB put out. Obviously, there was an element of sort of legalistic stuff about it, but I honestly think 2 or 3 years ago, the ECB would have put out a statement saying, we refute Michael Carberry's words. And it didn't say that. It said, we're listening, we know we have to do better. And that's where it starts. So, yeah, good for them, I'd say. But again, it can't just be gestures. It's just the start. But I do think that it was genuine and that they said the right things and they meant them.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content plus live streaming, make sure to subscribe to ESPN Player.